Hello, it's Randi Rhodes. Here's a clip from our show, and go to randyrhodes.com for the whole thing and a podcast. Buy a stinking podcast.
Believe me.
Knock, knock. Who's there?
It's a figment of your imagination.
Randi Rhodes Show.
Turn up your mind.
Are you ready? We will build a great wall along the southern border. And Mexico will pay for the wall.
Woo!
100%.
100%.
They don't know it yet, but they're going to pay for the wall. And they're great people and great leaders, but they're going to pay for the wall.
Sweet Jesus.
We will begin working on an impenetrable, physical, tall, powerful, beautiful southern border wall. We will use the best technology, including above and below ground sensors, that's the tunnels. Remember that, above and below.
Remember that.
Above and below ground sensors, towers, aerial surveillance, and manpower to supplement the wall, find and dislocate tunnels, and keep out criminal cartels. And Mexico, you know that, will work with us. I really believe it. Mexico will work with us. I absolutely believe it. And especially after meeting with their wonderful, wonderful president today, I really believe they want to solve this problem along with us, and I'm sure they will.
No. No, that's it's just it's not going to happen. And this week they're threatening to shut down the government over the money for the wall. Thought Mexico was, they didn't know it. Then he told them, and they said, we're not paying for the effing wall. And then they told him again, and then the past president said, we're not paying for the effing wall. And then they told him, and the president in between Vicente Fox and Peña Nieto called. He said, no, we're not paying for the wall. Now he's going to Congress with his hat in his hand, his red Make America Great Again, MAGA, everybody, saying America will pay for this wall or everybody dies. Let that sink in for a brief moment, shall we? Or everybody, well, they won't die immediately. They'll just get sick and die. And if you know what's good for you, you will get sick and die quickly. Because what they're holding hostage this particular week is the subsidies that go to the insurance companies. Now, you remember we had the high-risk corridors. That was another payment guaranteed to insurance carriers that Marco Rubio killed in a budget. And quietly, said, we're reneging on the promise to pay for the people that you will insure who are coming to you and they are sick. But because you can't take people with pre-existing conditions and throw them out of the pool, we know it's going to cost you extra, and we'll pay that extra. And then, of course, you reneged on that promise, didn't pay the extra, and that's why you have so few insurance companies on the exchanges and so few insurance companies remaining in the Obamacare. Not your employer's health insurance. No. Not that. The exchange, the place I go, the marketplace, the place I go to shop for health insurance plan. Now, there are other subsidy payments that we make. These are for the poorest people, not the sickest people, the poorest people. There are subsidies. It's about it depends who you're talking to at the moment. It could be as many as $9 billion, could be as little as $7 billion that go to the insurance carriers to help people meet their deductible, to help people pay for their prescription drugs, to help people pay for their premiums. And that is what they're holding hostage this week. Trump has said that either, it's that old thing where, buy this magazine or the puppy gets it. This is really what it is. He's saying that I know, Mexico will pay for the wall. Mexico will pay for the wall. Mexico will pay for the wall. All right, we'll make the down payment. Mexico will reimburse us for the wall. Mexico will reimburse us for. Okay, Mexico's out. America, you have to pay for the wall. You have to pay for the wall. And, we'll figure out a way. Now they're floating this idea that, when people send money home through like Western Union, they'll put a tax on that and that will pay $9 billion for the wall. Really? How much do you people send home? $9 billion we're going to raise this way. No, but, let me tell you some facts about this wall. No one wants it. No one. Mitch McConnell doesn't want to spend money to build the wall. You know why? Because then everybody will point at the Republicans and say they increased the deficit with a wall that nobody wants. And by nobody, I mean nobody. John Cornyn, the senator from Tejas, okay? A very conservative guy, does not want this wall. I find that fascinating. The Will Hurd, the representative from Tejas, says it's the least effective way to secure the border. He's a no. Not voting for the wall. Winning! So much winning. You're going to get so sick of the winning. Oh, so much winning. So, this is what's going on. Dude, at this point, it would be easier to go back to Mexico and ask them to pay for your wall. You can't get anything through your Republican Congress. How much losing does it take? You got a Republican House, a Republican Senate, a Republican president, and he can't do jack crap. And this week, he wants health care. He wants tax reform. Although he hasn't put out his tax plan yet. We're supposed to wait for that for Wednesday. And then he needs a vote by Friday. Now, how does a health care bill that has no text get scored by the CBO, since there's nothing there to look at? And how does a tax reform plan similarly get scored by CBO if we have absolutely no text on that? And we'll wait till Wednesday. And Wednesday he'll tell us what his big hopes and dreams are, but there won't be anything in writing. But this week he wants healthcare, he wants tax reform, he wants immigration reform, and he wants government funding for the wall. Now, the Trump administration can't seem to handle any of those, so they might as well try to get them all wrong at the same time. This is all I can conclude that they are up to this week, because no one wants the sticker wall. The American people don't want the wall. 54% of us do not want the wall. However, when you go to the border states, when you go to Texas, when you go to Arizona, and you poll those people hard, 61% of them don't want the wall. The people who live there don't want the freaking wall. So at the end of this week, we will all be, either held hostage and the message will be, okay, you can all get sick and die now. And if I were you, I would do it quickly. But we will be sick if he gets his favored result, but not winning. And why is he doing all this? Because Idiot Boy went out on the campaign trail and said stupid things for almost 2 years about how it will all happen so quickly. Quickly. It will happen quickly. Your head will spin. Believe me. Believe me.
Believe me. Believe me. Believe me. Believe me. Believe me. Believe me.
Yo. Sup with that? So here we are, facing down another government shutdown. And you know what? Friday at midnight, they're giving it a 50-50 chance of shutting down and, whatever. Here's my prediction. It won't shut down. Guess what we're going to get? It's called the continuing resolution. It's the worst way to govern, and this is how we're going to do it. You know why it won't shut down? Because the Republicans will look completely stupid. And everybody with any sense in their head will say, you have a Republican House, a Republican Senate, and a Republican president, and you had to shut down the government? What do you do? I mean, are you a cutter? Did somebody molest you when you were younger? Are you cutting? I mean, why are you doing this to yourself? You have it all. You have everything. You have every branch of government that there is. You even have the Supreme Court now. Oh, by the way, congratulations to Neil Gorsuch, who took his very first vote and voted to kill a prisoner who had been on death row for like 26 years. I hope he feels really good about his first Supreme Court vote. Justice Breyer wrote a dissent that said, why now? Why this man? And of course the answer was, well, the drugs that we got in the parking lot, they say on the back of the bottle. Yeah, because the pharmaceutical companies wouldn't sell them these drugs for these off-label uses like killing people. So they had to make some sort of a deal and get this this drug in a parking lot from somebody, and that's why it had an expiration date on it, kind of like your yogurt. And they were scared to use it after the expiration date. So they had to they wanted to put 11 people on a conveyor belt of death. And of course, they keep failing at that too, but they finally got one. Yay, they finally got one last week. And the Supreme Court said, oh, all right, kill him. It was really brutal. You know, if you check Friday's homework, there's a TikTok of what that man went through. It is cruel and unusual punishment. And although, it seems like his crime was pretty freaking heinous, and it was, also seems like he had a lot of mental issues. In fact, everybody on this list had a lot of, developmental issues. I believe this one had fetal alcohol syndrome when he was born. And his life just got, better from there, apparently. So I hope he feels really good about it. But okay, so Donald Trump wants to immediately throw 24 million people off of their health care so he can get a win. So he can get a win, everybody. The win is that he threw 24 million people off of health care. Now, when that's your goal in winning, you need to lose. And you need to lose really stinking hard. You need to fall on your head. You need to, really, really, just like run right into a wall. Oh, a wall. Yeah, so this is the president we have. He will sabotage the healthcare system if he doesn't get billions of dollars for a wall that he said would be free and nobody wants. Yay. But 96% of his supporters still support him. Did you see that number? That's really twisted. I got to say. You know why? Because they won't admit in public that they were voting for him, and now they won't admit in public that they can't stand him. But I mean, you guys got to smarten up just a tad, just a touch. I'm not asking you to understand the difference between THEIR and THERE. I'm not asking you to learn that, or TOO and TO. I'm not asking you to do that. That would be way beyond your pay grade. I'm asking you to realize that you have a Republican House, a Republican Senate, and a Republican president, and you can't get crap done. Nothing. Absolutely nothing. He said he wouldn't bomb Syria. Freaking guy bombed Syria. He said he would build a wall along the border with Mexico, and Mexico would pay for it. Now we have Mitch McConnell not interested in funding it, and his whole Republican Party from the border states saying absolutely no. Least most effective way to protect the border. We're all out. We're all out is what they're saying. And now he's we'll kill people is what we'll do. Mick Mulvaney, he was on the TV this weekend. Now it depends on who in the Trump administration you're going to listen to, because they don't even talk to each other. I mean, I can't talk to them. I can't. Okay, I won't. I can't. It's just too nauseating. It's too disgusting. You get right up to the brink. You say, I'm going to talk to them, and then you talk to them for 3 seconds, and then you just go, I forget it. I can't. You're too stupid. I can't talk to you. So that's what's going on in the administration. I mean, they don't talk to each other. On the one hand, you have the State Department saying that, for instance, Iran is in compliance with the nuclear deal. Rex Tillerson's State Department said that. But Rex Tillerson gets on the TV and says Iran is not complying with the spirit of the nuclear deal. And Donald Trump tweets that out. It just depends on what minute, what second, who you're talking to, what mood they're in. Did they digest their food? Are they hungry? Do they need a Snickers bar? Are they drunk? It just depends. So, you have interesting people. You have General Flynn, down at HHS telling everybody to shut up and listen to him. And he hasn't got a clue what he's doing. But, okay, you got him. And he says, oh, no, if there's no wall money, then we're closing the government. And then you got Mick Mulvaney, and he's saying, well, we could trade stuff is what we could do. Now, this was the most brutal thing you ever heard in your life. Now, really listen to what he's saying, because what he's saying here is we want to take health care away from 24 million people. And if you do that for us, then we'll work with you. Because we think we need the money for the wall. And we want to take that money and we want to use that money that subsidizes those people for health care. The lowest income, he actually says this, the lowest income people. And we want to use that money to pay for the wall. This is our deal. Check this out.
Welcome to Fox News Sunday.
Thanks and good morning.
President Trump has talked about a number of items he'd like to see in this government funding bill, which are so important that he's willing to see the government shut down if he doesn't get them.
I don't think anybody's trying to get to a shutdown. Shutdown is not a desired end. It's not a tool. It's not something that we want to have. We want our priorities funded, and one of the biggest priorities during the campaign was border security, keeping Americans safe, and part of that was a border wall. And we still don't understand why the Democrats are so wholeheartedly against it. They voted for it in 2006. Then Senator Obama voted for it, Senator Schumer voted for it, Senator Clinton voted for it. So we don't understand why Democrats are now playing politics just because Donald Trump is in office.
But I want to ask you a direct question, sir.
Sure.
Will he sign a government funding bill that does not include funding for the border wall?
Yeah, and I think you saw his answer just in your little lead-in, which is, we don't know yet. We are asking for our priorities. And importantly, we are offering to give Democrats some of their priorities as well. They've made it very clear they want these cost-sharing reduction payments as part of Obamacare. We don't like those very much, but we have offered to open the discussions to give the Democrats something they want in order to get something we want.
Okay, well, let me pick up on that, because on Friday you did offer Democrats a trade, funding for the border wall in return for continuing subsidies. There are subsidies that already exist, but continuing subsidies to insurance companies to help pay for lower-income people who get health insurance. Here you are.
We'd offer them $1 of CSR payments for $1 of wall payments right now. That's the offer that we've given to our Democrat colleagues.
Democrats say that is a non-starter, and that what you're in effect doing with that trade is that you are holding hostage health insurance for millions of lower-income Americans.
And that's exactly what they're doing. They're holding hostage. These are the Trump voters, by the way. You are the Trump voters, and they are holding hostage payments to help you afford the coverage that was put into law. Okay, so it's already there in law. And they want to undo that law to take that money from you. That helps you get your kid to the doctor, that helps you get to the doctor, that helps your mom get to the doctor, that helps your cousin get to the doctor. They want to take that money and transfer it to a wall that nobody wants, so that they can then say they built the wall and it was deficit neutral. But they built it literally on your backs. Literally on your back. I mean, that is Jared in charge of this too? Or maybe this is Ivanka's arena? I saw her talking to the astronauts this morning. Why is she there? What is that? Oh my God. I just, it's unbelievable. This is insane.
Clear for takeoff. Randy Rhodes Air Force. Air Force. RandyRhodes.com.
Go to RandyRhodes.com for the whole thing and a podcast. Buy a stinking podcast.